What's up, guys? So another day, another project. Today I am going to be painting the sorry, can't talk today. Painting the taillights on my Scion. Um they're just stock red ones. Scion's got too much red going on in the back. And the car's already red and the taillights being red, it's way too much for me. But I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna do it today. I am going to be using VHT Nightshade. Duplicolor has one of these. Not to bag on Duplicolor, but I used it a couple years ago. I don't know if they changed their formula or whatever, but I used Duplicolor a couple years ago and I didn't like it. You only put like 2 coats. I think I only put 2 or 3 coats, and they came out super black on my truck, and I didn't like them. You can really apply this and pretty much get it to the shade that you want. So VHT Nightshade. I bought this one at Pet Boys. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to take off the taillights on the 2013 Scion that I have. I think from 11 to 2016. It's exactly the same. But, yeah, show you guys how to do it. How I'm going to paint these. Alright guys, so here's a back view of the car. As you guys can see, I already started taking the hatch apart. Taking off all those plastics from the hatch is pretty easy. All you do is just pull down on them. You can use a panel popper. I just pulled on it just carefully all the way around, little by little, and it popped off. But yeah, this is a back view of the car, how the lights are. It's too much red for me, so sorry, it's a little windy out here. But I'm going to show you guys how to take these taillights off. So, take these taillights off. It's actually pretty easy. These ones aren't that bad. There's some cars that are very complicated, but these ones are pretty easy. There's a nut here. We took that one off. There's another nut here and one over here. For this one, you need a wrench. So it's all 10 mil. But this one you need a wrench because you can't get the socket and the ratchet in there. So you need a wrench. This one, for the other two, you need a deep 10 mil. Because the thread on this is pretty long, so you can't get a short one on there. Now, if you get those out, all you have to do is disconnect it right here. When you disconnect it right here, all your bulbs come out with the tail light. It's actually better than pulling all the bulbs out, because if you hit those bulbs, sometimes they get messed up. So it's better to keep them in there. They stay safe. So you just actually disconnect it here, and it disconnects all 3 bulbs. You know, your backup, your turn signal, and your stop light, and your running light. But yeah, just disconnect it here. One off. That's the time to get the other one. The other one's exactly the same. I forgot to mention that I've taken these lights off before, so they're pretty soft. The first time I took them out, there's a black seal on the back that was pretty gunked up and stuck on there, so might have to fight with it a little bit and pry it off, but it's easy to take these off. Some other cars that are very hard to take off, but these ones are pretty easy. So I'm gonna do the other one. Alright guys, so I got the taillight masked off. This is a clear part that I didn't want painted. It's got the reverse light that turns on, you back up, and the turn signal. I just taped it off. I wiped it down with alcohol. These taillights weren't that dirty, so I just used alcohol to wipe it off so the paint, adheres better to the plastic instead of all that dirt, the paint over the dirt, which won't let the paint stick very well. So mask it off. Now I'm gonna spray the VHT black taillight paint, and you just gotta spray until you like the shade of the black on it. And after I let it sit for probably half hour, I'm gonna hit it with some clear coats. You know, I'm gonna do probably 3 or 4 coats of clear to protect the VHT black paint after a while, and that way it looks even glossier. I'm actually going to let this dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to lightly sand it with 2500 and just polish it. I'm going to polish it so they look even more glossy, and then any orange peel or anything that the clear coat leaves, it'll disappear. So yeah, I'm going to start shooting the VHT and then clear coat after. So I got the tail lights painted with the VHT. I'm gonna do some clear coat next to, you know, protect the paint over time, and that way I sand it tomorrow after it dries and polish it. That way it looks super glossy. But so this third brake light is it was clear, and then of course tail lights were red, and I started spraying black on this, but I didn't like it how it was looking. It was looking way different. As you can see here, like to clear through it. So what I did is I had some red tail light paint that I had from a friend of mine that I painted his tail lights. So I sprayed red tail light paint on this one, and then I'm gonna do the black VHT over it. That way I can get them somewhat matched up so they don't look different. So I didn't like how it was looking. You guys can see this is how the taillight's turning out. Now I'm gonna do the clear coat and do about 3 or 4 coats, and then you've got to wait about 10 to 15 minutes between each coat. So, you know, it's just a waiting game. Alright guys, so as you can see, tail lights are clear coated, painted. I got that third brake light to kind of match to these. I think pretty close. So I'll let them dry overnight, reinstall them back in the car. Catch you guys in the morning. Good morning everyone. As you guys can see, the headlights are definitely dried. I think they look really good. Now, we still got to polish them. I'm going to polish them in a little bit. So I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod and let you guys just, you know, time lapse it with me. But I'm going to hit these with 2000 grit sandpaper, and then I am just going to use an orange pad with the drill attachment on it. And then I'm just going to use a VSS scratch and paint removal. Scratch and swirl remover. Alright guys, so pulled the tape off the clear part of the tail lights. If you guys can see, there are some like dust particles and stuff that fell on it overnight. There's some imperfections. So that's what I'm gonna take off with the sandpaper, and I'm gonna polish it. Here's the VSS that I was telling you guys about from Chemical Guys. You can find this on Amazon. I got it for like $17, I think. It removes the swirls and scratches pretty good. I actually use this on the passenger side of the car. If you guys saw my previous video about me cutting and buffing the driver's side, I did the passenger side, but I just used this because the passenger side wasn't so bad. But anyways. can see, taillights are sanded down. Forgot to mention, you don't have to sand it down with a lot of pressure. It's just very light sand. But so you guys can see, they're not glossy anymore. That means you sanded them down. But don't worry, you didn't ruin your clear coat and your paint job. With the polish, they're gonna come out glossy. So I just polished this one so you guys can see it's nice and glossy again. After you guys saw how they looked when they were sanded, like I told you guys, it's not ruined, so don't think you won't be able to get this out. That's exactly how that one looked before I polished it. It looked just like this one. And then this is after I polished it. It looks so much better. You can see, got rid of a lot of those imperfections that it had, all that dust falling over it. I'm just gonna polish the other, the third brake light and the other tail light, and then reinstall these and see how they look on the car. Alright guys, so I forgot to put this in the video in the beginning, but to take off that third brake light, you have to actually pop this panel off. But it's pretty easy. Well, what you have to do is you have to take all the plastics off though from the hatch. They're all pushed on there with those pressure rivets, so it's not that hard to pop off. You just got to pry it off. And then the tail light has two nuts. That plastic right there has, I believe, two nuts also. They're all like lined up right across, all the way across that plastic. So just gotta look for them, take those off, and then pop that plastic off, and then the third brake light will come off. So yeah, I'm gonna put the tail lights back on. Alright guys, so tail lights are on. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks way better than what it did. Alright, so that'll be a wrap for this video. Let me know what you guys think about the taillights. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to mash that subscribe button if you're not, and that notification bell. See you guys soon. Bye.